red, flares, flags and jubilation after a 22-year wait. Also ahead, desperate searches for a missing 11-year-old boy last seen entering the water in South Yorkshire. Plus,
I'm out here feeling as if I'm serving a sentence for a crime I did not commit.
Nicola Sturgeon struggles to hold back tears but refuses to apologise for her ex-husband's embezzlement scandal. And a rescuer's relief, the elation of a diver who freed 5 villagers trapped underground for 10 days in Laos.
This is ITV News with Yasmin Bodalbhai.
Good afternoon. Arsenal may have suffered heartache last night in the Champions League final, but that didn't hold back fans today celebrating the silverware they did collect this season. Thousands have lined the streets of North London to watch an open-top bus parade, marking the team's first Premier League title in 22 years and the Women's Champions Cup success earlier in the year. Our reporter Ellie Pitt has been watching.
I cannot describe to you the noise that this place made as the fans' bus made its way past the crowd, the hundreds of thousands of fans lining the streets, making a sea of red and white shirts, and now they're spilling out onto the road into the path of the bus that's just gone past. On it, of course, the players who made this league win possible and the all-important trophy. You might have thought that the fans would be a bit subdued, maybe have a bitter taste in their mouth after losing the Champions League final in Budapest last night and not doing the double. But as you can hear, far from it. Here's what some of them told me a little bit earlier.
Arsenal! No matter the result yesterday, I think today really shows the true support of how we feel about the team.
Nothing could have stopped me from being here today.
It's just pure love what's going on here, and there isn't any nastiness.
What next for Arsenal? Will Mikel Arteta's methods mean that they have more success next season? That's hard to tell. There's changes in the management of other top-flight clubs next season. But for now, this moment for the Arsenal fans is about absolutely celebrating the fact that the 22-year wait to lift the Premier League trophy is finally over.
Ellie Pitt there among the noisy crowds, and that parade is continuing, as is our live stream of it to watch. Just go over to our ITV News YouTube page where you can follow the rest of the route as those 4 open-top buses head to the Emirates Stadium. Well, after the Champions League final, which of course went the way of Paris Saint-Germain, there were violent clashes on the streets of the French capital. Police detained 780 people. That's after more than 200 were hurt, including dozens of officers across the country. 6,000 police are now in place for the team's own victory parade, which is happening later today. Back here, police are looking for an 11-year-old boy who went missing after he entered the water in South Yorkshire. The boy was last seen going into the River Don in Mexborough yesterday afternoon. The search comes after at least 14 other people died after getting into difficulties in waters around Britain during the recent hot weather. The latest now from Martin Fisher at the scene.
Well, a large emergency services presence here in Mexborough as they search for an 11-year-old boy who's understood to have gone into the River Don at around 8 p.m. last night continues. Now, police say they're sure that he went into the water, both from speaking to witnesses and also from finding personal effects of the boys on the river bank. Now, that happened about 8 p.m. and that triggered a major search and rescue operation involving the fire service behind me, police walking along the riverbanks, and there's even been support from the National Police Unit. There's also been underwater searches taking place, but so far they haven't been able to locate the boy. Police have said they've spoken to the boy's family and they are aware of what's happened, and they are now being supported by specially trained officers.
Martin Fisher reporting from Mexborough. Scotland's former First Minister Nicola Sturgeon has said she feels she is serving a sentence for a crime she did not commit. She's faced questions over what she knew about her estranged husband's embezzlement. Peter Murrell this week admitted taking more than £400,000 of Scottish National Party funds. But she insists the couple had separate bank accounts and believed their incomes would have supported anything she saw in her house. Our political correspondent Fred Dimbleby reports.
They were Scotland's political power couple. Nicola Sturgeon, the First Minister, her then husband Peter Murrell, the Chief Executive of the SNP. But he has now pled guilty to embezzling £400,000 from the party, and she is facing questions about what she knew.
I am not responsible for the crimes that my former husband committed, and I'm not going to apologise for somebody else's crimes.
But do you think you bear no responsibility for one of the biggest political scandals that took place on your watch?
He perpetrated a crime on the SNP. He's serving and will be serving a sentence for a crime he committed. I'm out here feeling as if I'm serving a sentence for a crime I did not commit.
Peter Murrell spent the funds on a range of goods, including this now infamous £124,000 motorhome and salt and pepper grinders worth more than £2,600. He also bought this £400 necklace for his wife from a jeweller they had visited while campaigning in Shetland.
Later that night, Peter said to me, "I've got a surprise for you." And I saw you admiring this pendant and gave me it. Sorry. I loved that necklace and I wore it a lot.
Other parties are now calling for an inquiry into what went wrong.
The response should be one where everything's put into the light and people can examine it, and that's what the SNP has to do now.
The current SNP leadership say there has already been a thorough police investigation, meaning any further inquiry would be unnecessary. Nicola Sturgeon was not charged after that investigation. Her estranged husband, who she says deceived her, is due to be sentenced next month. Fred Dimbleby, ITV News.
Israeli troops have captured a strategic castle in southern Lebanon. It's their deepest incursion into the country in 25 years. The capture of Beaufort Castle near the city of Nabatea came after days of airstrikes in nearby villages. And finally, an expert diver who was one of the first to find 5 villagers trapped for more than a week in a flooded cave in Laos has been speaking of his relief and joy at their rescue. 4 of the men were brought to the surface yesterday to a chorus of cheers and cries, and as Graham Stothard reports, the rescuers felt just as emotional.
The moment they were reunited, a moment of pure elation. These men, covered in mud, had been trapped deep underground for 10 days, in a cave system made almost totally impassable by heavy rains. Were it not for a team of expert divers, these wouldn't have been tears of joy. Mikko Pasai from Finland was among the first to find the men.
When I entered the chamber and saw them all alive, it took a few seconds to realize that actually, yes, I'm seeing correctly, and I'm sure the other way around too.
That was on Wednesday. It took 3 more days for the water to drop sufficiently for them to get out.
Meeting their families and waiting outside and giving them hugs, and that was very happy and emotional moment.
5 men rescued are now recovering. 2 are still missing, and heavy rains have once again flooded the cave. Divers are preparing to go back in to look for them. Graham Stothard, ITV News.
And that is all for now. The national forecast and the local news and weather is next. I'm back at 10:30 tonight. Bye for now.